What's going on, everyone? Welcome, man, to the Twin Wrestle Pod, man. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more wrestling content. I'm gonna make this quick and brief today. We're gonna talk about some wonderful news that came out last Friday. Some jumping of the gun, if you will, news that came out Friday. So, as you all know, Saturday night, Bad Blood was the week before this past weekend. And at the end of the night, end of that show, we had the final boss, the return of the final boss. At the end of that show, as you can see on the screen, as he made a gesture of 1, 2, 3, and the next slash to Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and Jimmy Uso, who also returned that Bad Blood to help Roman and Cody pick up the win against Jacob Fatu, and Solo Sikoa. Coming out of that show, things are still up in the air on what the direction will be. It is assumed the direction will be Cody versus Rock at WrestleMania, which it should be because that's what they teased the night after WrestleMania 40. So that should be the direction it's going. But as of recently, it's been reported that there's a tease of a matchup between Cody Rhodes versus The Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 41, which is a bit of, throwing a wrench into the plans of a singles matchup between Rock and Cody. It's different. But let's get on to this news I was talking about, right? Regarding this whole situation. So let's talk about Wrestling Observer newsletter, the one and only Dave Meltzer. So this past Friday, I don't know if it was after SmackDown or before SmackDown, but he came out on a Wrestling Observer newsletter and he said, I'm going to read the quote, okay? So I'm on WrestlePeers on Twitter, and this is what the quote that Dave Meltzer had said Friday. He said, as of right now, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is not scheduled for WrestleMania 41. While that could change, one source said about a potential Rock versus Reigns versus Rhodes match, he's not going to be able to do Mania. He already gave word that he wouldn't be able to do that match. So that would make yet another person who would be intricately involved in the top of the card program said that they have no idea about what's going on. Okay, so the wrestling world went into a bit of a frenzy. What everything Dave Meltzer does, whether it's the top 500 PWI pro wrestling, the ranking of the pro wrestlers, the 5-star match ratings. Dave Meltzer hasn't really been hitting on much news, really, for the remainder of this year, this year and the majority of last year. He's been inaccurate on some news, not all news, but he's been very inaccurate, so you got to take what Dave Meltzer said with a grain of salt. I don't really pay too much attention to what Dave Meltzer says at this point. I don't look at searching for news I don't search out for news coming from him. If I look at news, I'm going to go to, respectfully, I'm going to go to Sean Ross Sapp or maybe Russell Votes, but sometimes Russell Votes, they can be wishy-washy when it comes to news as well. So he's decided to say that Rock wouldn't be at WrestleMania, now this is him claiming that he know what the hell is going on in the Rock circle, right? That's why you shouldn't pay attention and listen to everything you see on the internet. So then, a fan commented on one of Rock's posts and asked him, was he going to be at Mania and why he isn't at Mania? And Rock just said, simply, don't believe the bullshit you see on the internet. So Rock shut that shit down immediately. Because it don't make sense, man. It just don't. So this is what the fan said. He said, are you really not working Mania 41? Say it ain't so. And then Rock shot back and said, don't believe any of that bullshit. With a couple emojis. Now, The Rock did a whole training camp last year for WrestleMania 40. Now, this news from Dave Meltzer don't make any sense because why would Rock go through all this trouble to come back last September in this segment with Austin Theory on SmackDown. That was the kickoff, right? It's the start of it. Then come to January of this year and do that segment with Jinder Mahal, right? Where he says he's going to tease and sitting at the head of the table, throwing that sidebar out there, knowing what was going to happen when he threw it out there, right? The Rock knew what kind of reaction it was going to get, and the wrestling world was talking about it for a while. Then we get into that show. I think it was in Alabama or Arkansas, where Rock, after the Rumble, and Cody gave up his spot for the Rock at the Rumble, and the fans did not like that. They felt that Rock was ushering his power and just moving Cody out of the way, right? So we get the Rock heel turn, the much needed heel turn at the press conference, so forth and so forth. Then we get the birth of the final boss. So at WrestleMania, he pins Cody 1, 2, 3, as he famously stated at Bad Blood, right? We don't know if he's referring to that or he's referring to Jimmy, Roman, and Cody at Bad Blood. But he did pin Cody at night 1 at WrestleMania 40. Then, for them, the night after WrestleMania on Monday Night Raw, him come out there and him and Cody tease a future matchup. And Rock said he's going to be waiting for Cody, no matter if he had the championship or not. Right? Then Rock gave him something and told him not break his heart again. So, it don't make sense for Rock not to make WrestleMania 40. It's in Vegas. A big attraction in Vegas. Vegas is a huge market for something like WrestleMania. And you want the marquee match of Rock versus Cody at WrestleMania. So it just don't make sense for Dave Meltzer to spout some news out there that's not even really true, without him knowing any type of facts. He's not in the Rock circle. So if you don't hear from the Rock, it ain't happening. Then, you know what I'm saying? What is this? WrestleMania priority passes. If you don't hear from the Rock, if you don't hear from his mouth, it ain't true. So, don't believe everything you hear from Dave Meltzer, bro. Take him with a grain of salt. And I, for one, believe Rock will be at WrestleMania 41. I believe we will get Rock versus Cody at WrestleMania 41. Whether the championship is on the line or not remains to be seen. But it might be, so we don't know. But for Dave Meltzer to go out there and spout out some news that isn't true, that ain't even 100% or 25% true. It's just him reaching for a headline, and that's what he got. He got the attention he wanted for that. But that's all I'm gonna talk about, man. Don't believe everything you hear on the internet if it don't come from the wrestler's mouth or a very credible source that's very close to these wrestlers. Don't believe it. That's gonna do it for this one. I will see you guys in the next video. I'll probably do a Raw preview show. I'm not sure because the night's show is taped. It was taped last week, and I didn't watch none of the shows in the previous 2 weeks. So I'll see. But in the meantime, you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace, man.